I look like one school.
Yes.
Waiting for mommy to cook some jollof rice.
In the name of the Lord.
See, I'm seeing my younger self. Like I just didn't see it until this thing came on. Anyhow, welcome on night. We're
Yeah.
our, you know,
Thank God
like our ancestors. We
for
are
the
proudly
Jesus.
our ancestors. We are proudly the image of our ancestors, and we love our
Yes.
ancestors.
Yes.
So my sister will always say that she doesn't know my link and more Warren Chiefs.
I know.
Or
You be sitting there by all the people that sold our people.
yeah, people that sold their people. So you're embarrassed of your ancestors. We,
Yes.
I
We.
love our ancestors because they are community leaders, they are
Yes.
community fighters.
Yes.
So like injustice, if they see you, slam dunk.
Yep.
I
Yep.
remember my mother wearing gator on wall, like she said, you have to get ready because anywhere you see injustice, you fix it.
Yes. Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. So
Yeah.
collectively, we must say no to injustice.
Absolutely. Please welcome to the program. Before we get excited, too excited, we have so much to share with you guys today. As usual, welcome, welcome. Continue to help us to share, like, and subscribe. We are making strides, but the God of our ancestors, we need to emphasize that the God of our ancestors is on our side. So,
Yes.
as we are doing this work, we are energized, we are emboldened, we know where we're going. So this is not random at all.
And
So
then our past heroes are here. Heroes and heroines are here.
yes,
We
I
call them
see.
Akante. If we stand on our way, Akante, Etowaram.
I can't see it. So
Hmm.
we thank you for joining us. My name is Mona Chimsaga. Mona Chimsaga, that God of my ancestors, is always with me. So do not mess with me. I'll allow my sister to introduce herself.
Thank you. Nothing to say. Simple me. Eputosina. Epi. Eputosinam. Eputosinam mmadụ ibe gị. Eputosinam ndị Igbo. Eputosinam ndị Africa. You can put us in Nigeria. It's not my business. Our colonial project. So thank you once again. Like my sister said, let's continue to share, like, and subscribe. This is one-stop platform or show for all your self-determination information. We'll give you accurate information, no propaganda, no lies. That's why it's called the Daughters of Truth. Ayadehebo, Umade Ezioku will say truth because we know that Ezioku Bondo, our ancestors told us that truth is life and lie is death. This is the worldview we are coming from. And that's why we always speak the truth. We'll give you the truth version of anything you hear. We'll break it down for you and then connect it and make it make sense. Whether you see a House of Assembly working and why they are bringing their secret to the main road because you know it's Banana Republic, where the headmaster will say, "You, go sit down over there. You're making noise. I don't want to hear noise. Sit over there." That's what we'll call you. We'll tell you that Nigeria is Banana Republic. It's a colonial structure. It's not for the people. It's not for the vulnerable. It's not for women. It's not for children. That's why you have over 100 senators, but you only have 4 women. And even those ones that they are doing, do you say to talk? These are people representing people. So if you're representing people and you can't even speak for the people you're representing, what are you doing there now? There's no assignment. So you're just there sharing money and having fun. But we're here to make sure that the sovereignty of our people is restored and their life become meaningful once again. Thank you.
Thank you, my sister. Can you forward me the video? I can't, can find the video.
The which one?
The Facebook one.
Oh, okay. I've not even, let me, yeah, I will.
Okay, sisters and brothers, we are now sharing. So I'll play the music. Please continue to help us to share.
Uchenna Okenwa, ndewo. You're welcome. Good afternoon, Nadia. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please continue to help us to share. There's so many platforms to share to share this song. So welcome
So
to
many.
huh?
I say yes, so many.
So many. We'll continue to share throughout the show. Continue to hit the like button so that they don't block it. You know how that goes, right? So you hit
Yep.
the like button. It helps to decrease the algorithm from ensuring that other people do not see this topic, which we know they don't like, but who cares at this point? So, our topic is the blood of innocent cries out for justice. The blood of the innocent cries out for justice. Actions inevitably bear consequences, and history serves as a relentless reminder of the harsh reality that injustice, especially the grievous shedding of human blood, often spirals into relentless cycles of violence, instability, and devastation. Political assassinations, brutal wars, chilling genocides, and systemic economic exploitation have all caved deep scars into the fabric of our societies around the globe. These ceaseless power struggles, driven by insatiable greed and relentless taste for dominance, have inflicted profound suffering on humanity that continues to echo through this time. The stark truth is particularly palpable in Africa, where a turbulent history of coups and foreign interventions has left nations teetering on the precipice of despair, undermining progress and robbing countless individuals of their stability and dignity. The term coup d'etat, which derives from French phrase signifying a blow or a punch, is often cloaked in the deceptive guise of necessary political transformation aimed at greater good. But in contrast, it is often wielded as insidious weapon by powerful nations, allowing them to manipulate weaker states for their own exploitative ends, which primarily is economic gain disguised as noble political reform. Time after time, we have seen how these foreign-backed coups have plunged African nations into chaotic disarray, stifling the potential for democratic development and ushering in protracted period of anguish. Countries like Nigeria, alongside countless other continents, continue to carry the heavy and unjust burden of these actions, with their own citizens becoming unwitting victims in conflict driven not by their aspirations, but rather by the interests of external powers. So, for 25 years, the indigenous peoples of British Nigeria have relentlessly championed their cause through Nina's movement, which is a powerful testament of endurance and resilience in the face of global injustice. Through a robust framework of local and international advocacy, NINAS has organized meetings, rallies, enlightenment workshop. They have laid bare the brutal truth of colonialism, neocolonialism, and systemic oppression. Through NINAS, we have sent unwavering messages that rings clear. The era of exploitation, bloodshed, and subjugation of the people under the heavy hand of foreign domination has been rendered a relic of the past. Are you part of this journey? Are you going to join us to fight this injustice, which has no rightful place in our land? We know that historically the religious missionaries and oppressive regime has been used as a tool to dismantle our rich cultures, profane spiritualities, and political structures. Colonial powers has also been used to weaken our local governance, conditioning entire population to accept the yoke of oppression, slavery, and foreign control as the norm, sometimes even showing it to us as the will of God. This psychological manipulation has opened the floodgates, allowing nations to be annexed, their invaluable resources plundered, and their sovereignties stripped bare, all under the force of pretending to be serving our civilization. So now, more than ever, it's imperative for us to recognize and embrace our role in this transformative movement by Ninas. We must stand resolute against oppression. We must challenge the pervasive lies and entrenched system that has perpetuated the bondage of our nation. We must support the NINA's strategy that will liberate the people of not just Nigeria, but also Africa as a whole. The future of injustice, instability, fights, death hinges on the courageous souls who will dare to fight it. So, are you going to be part of this noble cause? Are you going to join us? We are inviting you today as we continue with this interactive section to come on board, come on this train, this movement that is in place for us to bring back our sovereignty for good and not for criminals to continue to use for their own gains. I will pull up the video for the day while my sister adds.
Yes, we'll pull up the first video. You know how we do it here. We bring information, trends all over the world, internationally and nationally, everywhere. Make it make sense. Bring it together for you so that when you see them, it will make more sense to you. And then you understand why we do what we do. So those that are seeing our video for the first time, please calm down and wait to the end of the show so that things will add up for you. This first video that we are playing, it's where we're showing you, because we'll start from outside our space and then come inside, how the West destroys and destabilizes countries because of their selfish interest, just like my sister said at introduction. The things you see have deeper meaning. They will come and tell you something else, but there's something else going on the ground. For all the genocides, war, coups in Africa, most of it, except just few that maybe the indigenous people revolted, but most of it is orchestrated by them. So please pay attention and listen very well. We'll break it down for you even after. Thank you.
There's a weapon that powerful countries use to get rid of leaders they don't like, leaders from other countries. It's called a coup. It's a French word that means a punch or a blow, because it kind of means coming in and forcibly punching out a government from power. No elections, no process, just power being seized. Just someone being pushed out and someone being put in. Coups happen in so many different ways, but I want to show you how the coup has been used by the United States of America as a tool to get what they want on the world stage. These are the coups that I think best exemplify how this tool has been used for international power over the years. Let's start here. In the independent country of Hawaii. It's 1893, and the US is feeling like the Hawaiian Queen is a threat to American control over sugar. It's sugar that's being grown by the descendants of white American missionaries who had settled in Hawaii over the years. The US sends a military ship with hundreds of troops to show up to Honolulu, and they overthrow the Queen, installing one of those descendants of the Christian missionaries, Sanford B. Dole, as the new president. Notice his last name? Yeah, this coup was one of the US's first, and it set the stage not only for the new Hawaiian president's family to grow their powerful international corporation, which was based in Hawaii, but also for Hawaii to be annexed, to become a part of the United States. The next coup has to do with Spain. Well, actually more like Spain's colonies. They are a declining empire, and there is major resistance in their colonies, especially in Cuba, Puerto Rico, and the Philippines. Meanwhile, the US is a rising empire, and they already are pretty uncomfortable with Spain having colonies like 100 miles off their coast. But at the same time, they don't love the idea of true independence for places like Cuba or Puerto Rico. These are strategic islands right in the US's neighborhood. And like Hawaii, American companies have money invested, particularly in Cuba. Independence might mean them getting kicked out. So the US delves into this fight between Spain and their colonies. They use the explosion of an American Navy ship as their excuse, even though it was likely an accident, not an attack. But sometimes stories matter more than truth. So the US sends in troops to liberate the rebels fighting against their Spanish colonizers, promising them independence, not only in Cuba and Puerto Rico, but later over here in the Philippines and Guam. These local uprisings eventually drive out the Spanish. And in all of these cases, the US reneges on their promise to give independence to these locals. And they figure out ways to govern Cuba and Puerto Rico indirectly themselves. The US has just piggybacked off several independence movements to enact several coups at once, allowing them to install pro-American leaders and a navy base in Cuba, and eventually annexing Puerto Rico and Guam, which they still control, and the Philippines, which they held for 48 years. Okay, so we're over here in Nicaragua. It's 1909. There's a bunch of powerful American companies here, but a new president comes to power vowing to regulate them. The US is not going to let this happen. So the Secretary of State starts spreading rumors to smear this guy, this president, saying that he's building a canal that would compete with the Panama Canal. But really, they're just upset because Nicaragua's taking loans from Europe. The US keeps painting this guy as a war criminal and someone worthy of being thrown out. So push comes to shove, and the US sends ships to both of Nicaragua's coasts. They assemble a bunch of Marines in Panama, basically just flexing on Nicaragua and telling the president to step down. And the benefit of being a rising superpower is that it worked. He has no choice but to step down. And soon, a leader that the US likes comes to power. The coup is complete, and really, this is the first of many instances of the US meddling in Nicaragua. A few years later, the US is back in the region for another coup in next-door Honduras. This one was plotted by a band of private American citizens, and it follows a similar pattern. A new president comes to town, in this case directly inspired by Nicaragua's president, and he wants to take back control of the country from American businesses. In this case, we're talking about bananas. The banana companies were not going to let this happen. And it was mostly this guy, a banana businessman named Sam the Banana Man. He's not going to let this pesky president run his country. No. So he assembles his own militia. He literally buys a surplus Navy ship, loads it up with weapons, and starts his campaign to get this president out. He sails from New Orleans to the coast of Honduras, and he literally invades the country with like a private army. Wait, where's the US government in all this? They also didn't like the political direction of Honduras either, so they just sort of stood back. Let this private invasion happen, and then at the critical moment, the US steps in to order a ceasefire, basically bullying the president to step down. He had no way forward, no defense, so he resigns. And the Banana Man's leader of choice takes the presidency, giving the banana businessman land and a unique status to import anything he needs tax-free. And, wait for it, he refunds him for all of the coup expenses using public Honduran money. This banana man literally overthrew the government and made Honduras pay for it. Wow. Okay, so let's move forward to the 50s, where the coup becomes a more useful tool in the American toolkit. There's this new US agency dedicated to collecting and analyzing information from all over the world, meaning for spying. They call it the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, and it completely revolutionizes the art of the coup. Oh, and at this point, the US is now a full-blown global superpower, no longer just looking in their own neighborhood, but rather at the whole world map, investing huge resources into fighting their global rival and its communist ideology. So this gets us to Iran, 1953, where Iran had just elected a new star politician, Mohammad Mossadegh. He rises to power believing that Iran must take back control of its most valuable natural resource, oil, which at the time was completely controlled by a British company called the Anglo-Iranian Oil Company. We know it today as BP. Mossadegh is done with this. Let's kick the British out and take back our oil. But like the US, Britain is not happy with Iranians trying to take back their resources. So they warn that if they do this, there will be consequences. So the British catch a quick meeting with the CIA's Middle East guy who was passing through London, and they pitch him on this idea. Let's throw out Mossadegh. The CIA's like, okay, and they kind of sniff communist vibes on Mossadegh with this big desire to nationalize Iran's oil, or at least they tell themselves they do. So the CIA agrees, and they secretly send this guy to Iran. He's the Middle East bureau chief, Kermit Roosevelt. He's like in his 30s. Oh, and yes, he is the grandson of another big coup guy, Teddy Roosevelt, who I have gone into in other videos. Roosevelt sneaks into Iran and is given $1 million taxpayer dollars to use, quote, in any way that would bring about the fall of Mossadegh. So now there's American CIA agents in Iran secretly trying to overthrow the government. And it's a rocky start at first with a bunch of failures. But they start using their money to get traction, bribing politicians, religious clerics, and other leaders to say divisive and controversial things about Mossadegh. They hire locals to stage attacks against religious leaders, making it look like they had been ordered to do so by Mossadegh. But really, they were just getting paid by the CIA to do this. And with enough time and money, they create an atmosphere of chaos and hostility and distrust among the public. Oh, and there's weapons. The CIA stashes enough weapons and explosives to support a, quote, 10,000-man guerrilla organization for 6 months, like just in case they need to, like, start a full-on conflict. The result of all of this is more violence and chaos that engulfs the capital. Shops are being destroyed, bullets are flying into mosques, people are beaten, and thousands of paid demonstrators flood the street. The city falls into anarchy, all of it orchestrated by CIA money. And in the end, this all results in a bloody shootout at Mossadegh's house. He eventually gives up and turns himself in. He's put through a sham trial and found guilty of treason and sentenced to 3 years in solitary confinement and then house arrest, where he stayed until his death. The previous ruler of Iran, Mohammad Reza Shah, which just means king, had fled the country. But now, with the democratically elected Mossadegh gone, and with the backing of the US and UK, he could charter a flight back into Iran and take control.
The Shah crowns himself in a tradition which goes back 25 centuries. His title is King of Kings, and he becomes Emperor of his nation.
The US really came out on top here. They got what they wanted. They now have an American-friendly dictator in a powerful country in the Middle East, who is now welcoming American oil companies to get in on one of the largest oil reserves on Earth. Under the Shah, Iran becomes a brutal police state. He executed military officers, student leaders, anyone associated with Mossadegh. He set up a secret police force, and life was brutal. So brutal that in 1979, the frustration of Iranians burst forth in mass protests that ran the Shah out of office and replaced him with an inspiring new leader who would turn Iran into an Islamic republic, built in part off a foundation of resentment for the US having meddled in their country. The Islamic Republic has held power ever since, and has morphed into the oppressive theocracy we know today, though maybe not for long. Okay, let's keep going. The next year in Guatemala, the CIA tried to pull the same playbook that they used in Iran, once again targeting a leader that the people had elected, but who wanted to take back the country's resources for the people, to break up these American monopolies that controlled the country's electricity and railroad. The president even starts to seize land from one massive banana company. It was often unused land that he wanted to redistribute to the locals who could farm it and feed their families, and hopefully climb out of the system of endemic poverty in the country. The US decided that they had to defend the banana companies, or else more communist reforms would spread. So the US President and Secretary of State ordered an overthrow, and the CIA got right to work. The CIA hand selects a leader that they want to be in power. And then they start giving equipment and training to a bunch of Guatemalan exiles and private soldiers. They set up a secret operation base on the outskirts of Miami. They start delivering weapons to the Panama Canal. But like the other coups, it can't just all be about weapons. They gotta own the information space. So they create a radio station that sounds like it's a local Guatemalan radio station, but really it's being operated out of a small town in Florida. And they start publishing fake news about an uprising, unrest, a rebellion. And then at the same time, the fighters that the CIA had trained and armed invades Guatemala. Pilots start dropping bombs on fuel tanks and military posts and airports. But they weren't starting a full-on war. They weren't trying to cause real damage. They wanted it to feel like a domestic uprising, like a war was on the horizon, to freak people out. And for many, it totally worked. And just like that, one president is out and the hand-picked CIA option is in. This new regime is brutal and goes on to do horrible things. Detaining people they thought were communists, killing prisoners, breaking up labor unions, and in the process, restoring the banana company's land and ensuring that they maintained their hold on this economy. This kicks off an era in Guatemala of more political assassinations and instability, something that still plagues the country today. And yet to this day, there is no evidence that the Soviets were ever slightly interested in Guatemala. Communism was once again the excuse, but really this was about securing American business interests, tearing a country apart for bananas.
Bananas taste the best and are the best for you.
So that's our list. These are our coups that we decided to go over in this video. There are so many more that we could have mentioned. This is something that powerful countries and empires.
Whoa.
Yes.
Go ahead.
my people, if you notice, there's always that an item in the middle. If it's not banana, it will be cocoa. It can be palm fruit. It can be crude oil, mineral resources. Like my sister already told us during introduction, they are business interest. It might be one businessman. It might be a corporation. They want something, so they sponsor an arrest and kill the people so that they can get what they want. Our sister Dafe Enuma can read what she wrote. So you see, they cause trouble and then bring solution. They tend to bring solution. Meanwhile, that one that caused it, they will use the wealth of a nation and fund projects that will not benefit the locals. Like in Nigeria, when the colonial monsters came to build railways, they did not build railways that will connect Africans and Nigerians. No, they will build railway that will connect the raw material to the ocean where it will be exported to make it easy for them to exploit the people. It's not for transportation. It's not for the daily life of the people to be easy. That's not why they're coming. So you must watch these things. When they tell you diplomacy and intelligence, it is not about making the world safe. No, it's about exploiting the people. Ordinarily, why is it that diplomacy and intelligence should not be about making the world a safer place, making the world better, making the world more peaceful, not causing chaos everywhere? Why would they use religion to colonize people? Why would they use religion to build empires? Like we told you people here, when they bring Roman Catholic, is to make Rome better. The whole thing is going to Rome. Anglican is England. The rest, Pentecostal individuals, is about empire building. It's not about the kingdom of men, not about the kingdom of God. Religion should be personal. Should be personal. Yes, it should be personal. You should not build a big institution of religion and use it to scam people. And we have told you here that institutionalized religion is a scam. It's oppressive theocracy. No one should be exporting religion. Oh, missionaries. What are you missionarying? Religion should be local. If you are doing that religion and you teach your people and they're very good, we can come and copy it from you. But you know, you will come and say you want to export it. We are coming to teach the locals how this one to do. Meanwhile, you are just using it as opportunity to bring in the colonial masters. That's what it is. They will organize bloody shootouts. If you listen to what, because we are breaking it down for those, because sometimes due to asset, our people might not hear very well. If you listen, he says something about how they organize bloody shootouts and make a fake arrest, a fake house arrest for their agent to, then they will make him face sham trial for treason and then deceive the public. Does this ring a bell? Ndi Biafra, does this ring a bell to you? If the people elect a president,
in this edition of Back in History, we're discussing the trial and execution of Muhammad Vatsa.
Oh my goodness, so sorry.
It's okay. If the people elect a president that will break up foreign corporations and monopolies, that will take back resources of the people and build infrastructure for the people, that will stop endemic poverty, they will come. These vultures and viruses will come. They will come with one story. So we are saying we are tired of bunch of low-thinking failures running our affairs. See what we told you at the beginning, what is happening at National Assembly. It's just to confirm what we have been telling you. The people must arise for this change and embrace this change. We cannot allow a bunch of failures to continue to think for us and say they are managing our affairs. When they can't even manage the affair of their immediate family, their wife and 2 children, they can't handle it. How can they come and handle our affairs? They are not able, whether political, religious, all of them. If you listen to that video, he said that they will use fake politics and fake religion to brainwash the people and create an atmosphere of chaos, hostility, and mistrust among the people. You see why Ninas has told indigenous peoples to avoid killings, chaos, anarchy in every sensitization you're doing. This self-determination, we don't want you to employ chaos, anarchy, because you play into the hands of the enemy, because that's what they wanted anyway. And this is also why Nina's told indigenous people to trace back to their ancestral homeland. If you're Yoruba, Ijo, Igbo, trace back to your land. Because when you go to your land and begin to cleanse it and organize it, like Soludo is doing in Anambra State, also Soludo, fake people, all these fake things, cleansing it, and then you begin to organize, it is more difficult for the enemy to infiltrate you because you know yourselves. Igbo people in your communities, you know yourselves. Yoruba people in your communities, you know yourselves. So you can organize from down the grassroots, not on top. On top is fake. Organizing from Abuja, anybody organizing anything from Abuja is a colonial a colonial puppet. They are agents of the colonial monsters. They want to continue to keep you in that bad. We don't want it. We want the indigenous people to own their land, take care of their space, organize themselves in their ancestral homes. Umunna, Umwada, go back to your land and begin to organization from there. This conversation has to get there. You watching us, you are the one that will take it to your villages. Go and tell your village. That salvation has come. And this is salvation. This next video we're going to play, we told you people, is about injustice. Coup upon coup, coup upon coup. So listen now to see an example of the first video that we played, an example of how it happened in Nigeria. Pay attention, please. Thank you.
This edition of Back in History, we're discussing the trial and execution of Mamman Vatsa. It was on 23rd December 1985. It was in the middle of the night. Everywhere was quiet. A lot of people had gone to bed. But Mamman Vatsa, a soldier, an avid reader, a poet, a writer, was in his study at his residence at Roman Street, Ikoyi, Lagos State, Nigeria. His wife, an Efik woman who later took the name Sophia, was in her bedroom watching television. The children had all gone to bed. Mamman received a telephone call that Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida had sent for him. Mamman left the study and entered the bedroom to inform his wife. The wife protested that it was too late in the night and that Mamman should phone his boss to shift the meeting to the following morning. Unknown to Mamman and the wife, immediately the call was made to him to meet with IBB. A detachment of fully armed soldiers was deployed to move toward his residence. As the debate with his wife was going on, the soldiers arrived at his residence, led by Lieutenant Colonel UK Bello. Mamman Vatsa's residence was immediately surrounded with armored vehicles and military vans. A cloud of fear engulfed Vatsa and his wife Sophia. All was not well, and the signs were pretty obvious. Life was never going to be the same again. The soldiers came into the compound and instructed Mamman Vatsa to follow them. The exact destination was unknown to Mamman and the wife. The exact destination was also not disclosed to them. Sophia insisted that if the soldiers would take her husband away, then she had to follow them. Sophia was a good driver, and she insisted on driving Vatsa in her own Peugeot 404. Seeing that all was not well, and that he might not return home anytime soon, Mamman Vatsa insisted that the children should be woken from sleep to enable him hug and kiss them before embarking on the journey. The children were woken up and Maman kissed them one after the other. Maman would never have this opportunity again. The journey commenced with Lieutenant Colonel UK Bello leading the convoy. Sophia and Vatsa were driven in their vehicle, and at exactly 2 a.m., the convoy stopped at number 7 Cameroon Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. Vatsa was ordered out of the vehicle. Maman Vatsa turned and gave his wife a hug that was to be the last forever. He told his wife to take care of the children. Sophia, the wife, returned home. Sophia later learned that her husband was implicated in a coup said to have been planned to overthrow then President Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. Maman was later taken before a special military tribunal where he was tried alongside 16 other military officers for treason and in particular for plotting a coup to overthrow Babangida's regime. Maman pleaded that he was innocent. The military tribunal was headed by Major General Charles Ndiomo and also was assisted by Commodore Murtala Nyako. Murtala Nyako later became the civilian governor of Adamawa State in Nigeria. The tribunal sat at the Brigade of Guard headquarters, Lagos. Maman and the other persons were from there detained at Cricri Maximum Prison. While at Cricri Maximum Prison, Maman sent a note to his wife saying, "Sweetheart, do not beg my friend Babangida any further. Take care of the children. I know it is not easy, but God will help you." At the tribunal, Maman pleaded that he was innocent of the allegation, but the special tribunal pronounced him guilty as charged and sentenced him to death. While most people thought that Maman will not be executed by an administration headed by his bosom friend Ibrahim Babangida, others also reasoned that having been arrested, locked up, tried along with others, and eventually pronounced guilty, anything was possible. Indeed, everything was possible. Maman was to be executed by firing squad. Emissaries were sent to Babangida to no avail. Maman was a poet and a writer. He authored several poems and was very active in the literary community in Nigeria. His ordeal thus attracted 3 leading Nigerian literary icons, Chinua Achebe, John Pepe Clark, and Wole Soyinka, who went to the Dudan barracks to plead with Babangida for clemency. Minutes after leaving Dudan barracks, the news broke that Maman Vatsa and 16 others had been executed. Maman was executed on the 5th day of March 1986. When he was to be executed, Maman requested that his wristwatch and wedding ring be handed over to his wife Sophia as a constant reminder of his love for her. Completely shattered, Sophia Maman Vatsa, and a fake woman from Calabar Cross River State, moved her children from Lagos together with her belongings and returned to her husband's home in Kaduna State. She lived in penury and used to travel back to Calabar to get food items for the upkeep of the family. She also engaged in petty trading and farming. Sophia saw the children through schools. Haruna, the first son, graduated from the university and was employed in the government house where he served as protocol officer. Fatima studied medicine in London, while Jibril studied law. Aisha, the last born, is a US-based pilot. At the time of Maman's trial and execution, General Domkat Bali was the defense minister, and it was his responsibility to constitute the special military tribunal for the trial. It was also his responsibility to announce the execution of Vatsa and others to the world. In a later interview granted by Domkat Bali in 2006 to the News, a Nigerian newspaper, the retired General Domkat Bali stated on quote as follows: "My regret is that up till now, I am not sure whether Vatsa ought to have been killed, because whatever evidence they amassed against him was weak. But my only regret is that I could not say don't do it. I am not so sure whether we were right to have killed Maman Vatsa." The said interview was published in the 22nd May edition 2006 of the said newspaper. Sophia, who had always maintained that her husband did not plot any coup against Babangida, was highly elated when she read the interview granted by Domkat Bali. She however lamented that her husband's body was never released to her for funeral and closure. She wrote letters to then President Olusegun Obasanjo to open an investigation into the killing of her husband and to also prosecute Ibrahim Babangida. None of these was done by the Obasanjo administration, and it is not clear if it will ever be done by any other administration. Born in Bida in the then northern region of British Nigeria on 3rd December 1940, Maman Vatsa was a high-ranking military officer in Nigeria. At the time of his execution, Maman Vatsa was a major general. He was in the crop of early military cadets trained and commissioned into the officers' cadre for independent Nigeria. Maman attended Government College Bida from 1957 to 1962, and upon completion of his studies, Maman proceeded to the Nigerian Military Training College, Kaduna, in December 1962. At that time, the Nigerian Military Training College was yet to be accredited for the commissioning of young military cadets, and it was the practice for the Nigerian government to send young cadets to foreign military schools for completion of their studies. Maman was sent to the Indian Military Academy, and upon completion of his studies, he was commissioned as second lieutenant.
All right, we'll post this video in its entirety on our Facebook page. You can see what these enemies, how they operate, right? They offer, turn myself off. They offer these people what is called political pacification, where they will, reward the family members, allow them to get a job, allow them to be part of the ruling parties, right? You wouldn't even know what the great harm that they cause is always present. If you guys recall the story of Kennedy, after he was assassinated, at a later time, they made the daughter an ambassador to some place. The same people, the same playbook, my dear. And it's only because you guys don't want to understand what's going on. A lot of us, let me not say you guys, a lot of us don't want to understand what's going on. It's the same hand, the same monkey hand, putting his hand everywhere he can, like a virus. Anything that they can infect, they infect. Anywhere they can infect it, they infect it. It's the same people doing the same thing. And that's why we need to end this colonial project. We are operating under a colonial project. So if not for anything, because I know a lot of you, I'm a Nigerian, and then Nigeria, this and this, but you are running a colonial enterprise. Can you please understand that much? That you're running a colonial enterprise that is against your people. That even if you want to be one, we should not employ the strategy that will serve all of us and not the benefits of our colonialists. It has to come to an end at some point.
Yes.
These people are the same people doing the same thing, running the same show. They never left. They only switch out with your brothers and people that look like you so that you won't know who is doing you.
Yes.
You will know who is doing you. As if it's not bad enough, they will remind you that you will go to hell if you don't do the right things. When they are doing more than the devil. This devil, where is this devil anyhow? We've seen more evil from those people telling us about devil than devil more himself. We have to be able to differentiate both.
So, because they removed the history. When they finished all the nonsense they did, they removed history from Nigeria so that the next generation will not know what happened. It's so painful and so pathetic. Now, we told you about the era of genocide and series of assassinations to protect colonial interest. Like my sister said, nothing is by chance. We just want you. And by the way, we thank those that are sending us these videos because it means our people are following. They are going by themselves to go and dig out these things and send them to us. Make comments. So we appreciate you. We are a team. We are working together. So we told you these people will create chaos, create fear, create mistrust among the ethnic nationalities. Meanwhile, they have caused injustice. So Igbo man will be blaming Yoruba man. Yoruba man will be blaming Igbo man. Then Igbo will be blaming Ijo. Ijo will be blaming Ishekiri. Divide and conquer. So whether it's Biafra children that were killed, or Igbo people that were killed, or innocent fathers, uncles, and brothers, one thing is common with all these unjust killings. They will lie against the people who need to be killed and unjustly kill them. Before, if you're saying don't kill, then whether it's Sarawiwa, anybody, when you're saying don't kill, bam, they kill them because they have already marked them that this and this person needs to leave so that certain things will happen. So they will rope in something on them, lie against them. And like my sister said, go by the other side, compensate their children. If you check Abiola's children, you see the compensation. Kerewiwa, all of them, they will compensate so that they will not seek for justice. And even when they seek for justice, they will make sure they don't get it. Why? They were killed for wrong reasons. It's not what they told the people that is actually what happened. Go to history. You will understand. Now, why they do that is to maintain colonial lies. The misinformation, the disinformation, the colonial structures, the colonial systems. So if you are seeking for healing, if anybody is honest and sincere about seeking to, like, how do we heal Nigeria? My people say that Ezioku Bondo, truth is life. So we must start from the point of truth. Because if you don't go to truth, you will not know that you have committed injustice against anybody, and then they will need retribution. Retribution we are talking is not the 10,000 trillion Ahaneze is asking for their brothers and their sisters and their wives and their children. That's not what we're saying. So in other words, we need to redress the situation. The injustice is still going on. It's ongoing. What is standing on our way? Somebody will ask. Why can't we address this injustice? 1999 Unitary Constitution forbids you from looking into the annals of the atrocities committed against the people. They finished destroying our people. Babangida, class of 66, Obasanjo, Buhari, all of them, they finished and then imposed a constitution, a unitary constitution that only them can manipulate, and an illegitimate constitution, so that one, you don't have rights to look into what happened to you. Two, you cannot bring them to book. So
Okay, she's coming. Yes, you cannot bring them to book, but I guess you can buy their books because that's what they do. They
exactly.
And they will sell us their books.
They sell the book and you publish it, and then you come and launch it for 20 trillion billion. But the blood of the innocent continues to cry out for justice. That's one thing people don't understand about the blood. Whether Biafra children that were starved to death to save colonial Nigeria, Whether innocent fathers, uncles, and brothers that were unjustly tried and executed to maintain colonial Nigeria and their colonial structures. The blood of the innocent, we continue to cry for justice. You see how our children are roaming everywhere all over the world like vagabonds, losing their identity just so that Nigeria can remain one under colonial unitary constitution. Africa is bleeding. Indigenous peoples of Africa have to die so that Europe, America, Asia can get raw materials for their industries. We cry for justice. Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. We are playing another video for you to see that what is happening to us, they did it centuries and it worked for them. So they are just replaying it. Listen and pay attention. This is how America became God's own country. You see what we tell you about religion? Colonization through ethnic cleansing. Watch. My people, my sister once said,
shook hands, and handed them death. In 1763, Pontiac's War was raging. Native warriors from the Ottawa, Shawnee, and Delaware were winning against the British, reclaiming their lands. Jeffrey Amherst, the British commander-in-chief of North America, was desperate to stop them. But instead of fighting, he chose biological warfare. In a letter to Colonel Henry Bouquet, Amherst coldly suggested, could it not be contrived to send the smallpox among the disaffected tribes? Bouquet responded, I will try to inoculate the Indians by means of blankets that may fall in their hands. But they didn't just talk about it. They acted. At Fort Pitt, Captain Simeon Ecuyer wrote in his journal, we gave them 2 blankets and a handkerchief out of the smallpox hospital. I hope it will have the desired effect. The aftermath was horrifying. Fever, vomiting, sores bursting open, villages wiped out. Entire nations erased, not by war, but by disease. And the British? They called it a success, no consequences, no punishment, no justice. They covered it up. They rewrote history. And today, most people still don't know the truth. But now you do.
Now you do. When we tell you the evil or evils that these people, the same people, they are the ones doing this. Maybe this video here will help you to better understand what we mean when we say it's in the DNA of the snakes to be snakes.
Yep. And when they do good, it's for bad reasons. They give you blankets. It's smallpox. Anything sanctioned or promoted by colonial powers.
Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, the video is not showing.
It's not showing yet. Yes, that's what I'm talking. Anything sanctioned or promoted by colonial powers must be thoroughly investigated.
All of it.
Yes.
Every part of it.
You must look at it because they can't do good.
In other ways, you are a virus.
Oh.
You destroy the world. Everything beautiful you poison. You drag us from our homes, you rape our daughters, murder our sons. You crack our spines and do all you can to break our will. You stab us. Then you put the knife in our hand and tell us it's our fault. And if you don't do it yourself, you stand by, close your eyes, and pretend there's nothing wrong. And then you pray to your God to silence our screams so that you can enjoy the happiness that we built for you with our blood. But it's not your fault. It's the only way you know how to be. And the only thing that will change anything is if another virus comes along and does to you what you do to us. You want me to say something?
So you can see that it's the same colonial master, the same person, the same virus infecting everywhere. And we're recognizing this as a virus and offering a treatment. What is that treatment? Our sovereignty. getting our sovereignty back from those who stole it from us, those who claim to have brought us goodness and mercy. For us to say no longer do we want this virus to be in our community. For us to say we need to cut this thing off and offer it the treatment that will make sure it's no longer in the veins of our people. Oh, somebody sent us £10. Okay.
Woo! Our brother not
work.
Yeah. The first to give us money.
My brother, man, you have me now. I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh yes, right there, I forgot.
How do we operate it?
I've never seen that before. It was blue, like yellow in my eyes on this side.
What's that?
Thank you now. Well done. Well done. We are here to liberate our people. We are here to offer life and offer it abundantly. We're here for our children to live with dignity. We're here for our children to have future. We're here for our brothers and sisters that are stuck somewhere in Indonesia, in Afghanistan. They are everywhere. We have our sisters and brothers in everywhere. The other day, I got a news that we have a bunch of our sisters are in Iraq, 3,000. Iraq? Do you get visa? How did you even get visa to get to Iraq? And it's only because we've allowed this 1999 constitution to stay on. Our children full of energy, full of smartness. We are not offering them any opportunity to use any of it. They are being forced to leave our land to find a way of life. And then they end up in prison for one thing or the other. We need to end this, my people. We need to end this madness. It's not sustainable. We can't keep on carrying on the colonial project. The colonial project that is against us, that we have showed you evidence over and over again that these things were planted so that you will not grow. Yes. No matter how much this system is so wicked. It's like you give birth to a child, you're feeding this child. After 10 years, the child is telling you, they are not speaking. That's the game that we find ourselves in. No matter how much we put into Nigeria to exist as a project, it's not happening. We know of brothers and sisters that have spent their retirement trying to build something, it went down. Let's end this madness, brothers.
And Ndoka will tell you to continue to give him food. Do prayer and fasting. You have not fasted enough. That's why the baby is not growing. Oh, add 70 days fasting. Oh, you have to pray in the middle of the night vigil. By the way, we thank our brother Soludo in Anambra State. Anambra State is becoming the template. Sweeping out these things that are distracting our people. Mandi ezemo, mandi ezewayo, mandi okite, mandi fake miracle, ndi oka, ndi pastor. Soludo, please, also Soludo, nye also. All these fake pastors, Ebube Agu, Ebube Monso. No, what's the other one? What's that one that is doing Zion or whatever he's calling himself? All of them, sweep them out of. Let's know whether our people can get sense. We'll play another video for you. Our brother, Dr. Omar, colonial religion. We've been telling about how they imported this colonial religion into Africa. A type of religion that blinds you to the issues concerning the Black nation, the issues that are concerning your children, concerning these that need urgent solution. You will not see it because the type of deadly religion they imported into Africa will blind you. And we are telling our people that you cannot use this religious belief and religious philosophy to solve economic, political, and secular problems facing Africa right now. Anybody telling you, come to church and come and pray, come to church and do, and we wish that other governors will copy this thing because we need to sanitize our land. We need to begin to think straight because we know that we are capable of fixing our land. It's just this religion, be it fake Christianity, fake Islam, fake traditional worship. Religion is a personal thing. Do it in your home. Stop disturbing our people and making noise with your criminality. Because this is what you people used to siphon everything and make our people very poor, making them vulnerable so that your political puppets will not come in and finish the work. Listen to our brother.
Make as a race is we try to solve our political and economic problems with religious philosophy, and it hasn't served us well. The reason we pray for our leaders is because that's the religious influence. God sent Abraham, God sent Jesus, God sent Moses, God sent Muhammad. You see that? So even when we come into the secular world, we're still using religious beliefs to help us solve our secular problems. You can't do that. You can't wait on God. First of all, even if you're waiting on God, those prophets were what? Hundreds of years apart. Right. Some of them were hundreds of years apart. Mm-hmm. So if you are going to follow that, that means you ain't getting another Dr. King for another 300 years. We can't afford that. So we have to wake up, and I have no issue with religion. I only have an issue with how religion can be used by some people to solve certain problems, right? As long as your religion doesn't blind you to the realities that Black people face, I don't have an issue with it. But I will say that we have been misserved, not just church. When I say church, I'm speaking collectively of all Black religion, because I believe all Black religion has kept Black people from really approaching their problems with the urgency that it needs, because we're always expecting someone else to come and solve our problems for us. And that's why it was so easy for us to segue from the plantation to the church, because both of them have an external locus of control. On the plantation, the slave master is responsible for you. In the church, Jesus is responsible for you. When do we become responsible for ourselves?
That's deep.
Anything that teaches you that your solution has to come from outside of you is not on your side. Religion teaches you that the solution has to come from outside of you. A big mistake we make as a race.
Yep. Solution must come from you, which our ancestors taught us before we left them and become Dara. Before I when the and the 50-day fasting. They weren't waiting for God, even that God of our ancestors. They weren't waiting for him to do anything. They knew the season, they knew the Hamatan season, they knew harvesting season, they knew planting season. They go up every morning to do the work. And now, instead of our brothers and sisters working, they're doing midweek service, afternoon service, Sunday more service, adoration service, Zionist service, and how about Kiriala? When the problem is 1999 Constitution. You will never hear them tell you that the reason why you're living the way you're living in that place called Nigeria is because you have a constitution that is against your progress. You have a constitution that will not allow you to move forward. You have a constitution that will, when you move one step forward, it will take you 500 steps backwards. And we're telling you that it's time for us to receive sense. It's time to return to, if there's any God, to return to the God of our ancestors. The one who taught us 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 that we must leave legacy for our children. Not legacy of Ndori, but legacy where hapota ebube. They will be happy about who their forefathers are and what they have done.
And you know,
go ahead.
How wicked these church leaders are. This after leading our people to fake 2023 election, telling them to bring PVC when they know it will not count. They turned around. Do you know what they're preaching now? Moral reform. Blaming the youths. Oh, it's because the people are too corrupt. It's because you are sleeping with women. It's because you are not this thing. It's because you are doing this thing. You have to change your character. You have to change your moral. Your moral is not good. You are not good. And they're working hand in hand with celebrity lawyers. People like Dere, father to me, that will just pull up here. These are celebrity lawyers. Because when they finish that thing that they're doing, today, on Monday, they will say one thing. After on Tuesday, they will say another thing. But you know what? Thank God for internet. Because we will bring it. Hey, our brother has, hey, what are getting that bottle? Not say, hey, come on, what's the Diego? Us not 50. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. So they work hand in hand with celebrity lawyers. They refer to me. After giving our people false hope, saying electoral reform will work, INEC, electoral reform, they reformed. Did they use it? No. Rather than come and apologize and say, no, this is not the way to go. This is what Ninas has been saying. Let's follow it. And he knows it because we told you. We are going to play his video for you to see where he said it with his mouth. That Is the Decree 24 is 1999 Constitution. What is he not doing? After they finish bribing him, he will come and start selling our people another false reform story. What is he doing? He's hoping that the youth will get so frustrated and begin to kill politicians like they're doing in Haiti and form cults or like chaos in Kenya so that he will benefit, because we told the other people are viruses and vultures. They will never want our people to go the right way that will peacefully give us sovereignty and will be alive to celebrate it. No. Today they will say one thing, tomorrow they will say another, so that the youth will be confused. And we told our youths, if you allow people like this again, if you allow criminals like this again lead you astray, lead you to your early grave, don't say that we the mothers did not warn you. You don't need to die. You don't need to listen to Ndi Awumanya. There is a project on the table. There is a template on the table. Go ahead, my dear sister. Thank you.
Everybody that I've worked within this system, because none of them have gone in with the intention of changing anything. They just want to be the ones operating the system. I am not interested in operating this evil system. My sole interest with the Nigerian governance system is its destruction. I don't believe that this system is capable of delivering any value to the Nigerian people. So for me to go and accept an office where I have to swear to uphold the Constitution, which I believe is the primary evil, will be completely hypocritical. So on that basis, the only office I can possibly accept, the only public office I can ever accept is the one that has a clear mandate to destroy Decree 24 of 1999 and then give the Nigerian people their own constitution and then restructure the entire governance system. That would interest me.
Ndori. It will interest you to know what marijuana does to the brain. So let me pull up a real quick video, only because, you guys don't hear these things from us.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull up a quick video for you guys to understand that you shouldn't listen to Nde. Never. Under any circumstance. I don't care if they look cute today, next time they have rasta hair, next time. When they are doing fium, anything can come out of their mouths.
Anything.
So let me play this real quick.
Marijuana is bad for the brain. I published a study on 1,000 marijuana users. Every area of their brain is lower in activity. And just today, a study came out in the Journal of the American Medical Association on 1,027 marijuana users. It decreased activity in the hippocampus that affected their memory centers. If you're a teenager and you use marijuana, in your 20s, you have a higher incidence of anxiety, depression, and suicide. This is not innocuous. And we've been advertised this load of crap, which is, it's just good medicine. And for some people, it is helpful. But let's not say it's innocuous, because that's a lie. And we are now, so many states have legalized.
All right, so I'll stop this video here. I just wanted to share with our people what the level of marijuana use can do to your brain, so that you don't allow people that, they know how to use English language. Today they are speaking big words and telling you Decree 24, don't ever look, I will never uphold any government that is going to uphold the same constitution. And then they will jump into it once they get their money. And then they will come out and tell you after they come out from the detention that now, my dear, do not listen to any marijuana users.
No.
They will lead you to your damnation.
Yeah, it will be to your own detriment. For you to listen to Nephew of you, it will be to your own detriment. So this case is closed. Let's keep it and then move to Ndidi's table.
You're right.
We want to bring up so we want to play where we're going, Ninas, for you to understand critically. Those that are saying, those have not heard before. All the people are crying over injustice against their people, against their sons, against their daughters. We are saying you must rally round against this singular solution. You lamenting in your corner, hey, whoa, they have killed me, they impregnated me, they do. All the widows, all the fatherless, all the people that they kill their father, their mother, their people, their children, this is where you should come. Come and rally around. This is the solution. You don't need prayer. You don't need fasting. You don't need anybody to lead you.
You don't need abracadabra. You don't need any of that.
You don't need anybody to lead you to Christ. You don't need anybody to lead you to Ezemo. You don't need anybody to lead you to Muhammad. Why they are leaving you under the slave camp and slave code called 1999 Unitary Constitution? Anybody leading you to any Christ, leading you to any Messiah, why leaving you under the 1999 Constitution is a criminal until proven otherwise. No Messiah is coming to deliver you if you willingly choose ignorance and bondage. But there is a solution. Listen to Nina so that you understand your assignment and what you need to do.
The objective of the force majeure to knock down this constitution and end the stupid union of debt that comes with it has been achieved. Where we go next is rallying those who have been locked into that prison they call Nigeria. Whether the Yoruba that want to do a republic, or the Igbo or the East that want a Biafra republic, whatever it is, or the Niger Delta that want the return to controlling, to owning and controlling their resources, or the middle belt that is without defense and help for being slaughtered in their own ancestral space. Everything you look for, every change you look for, or the young people that want to see a better country, that say they want to take back their country. Young people, this is who took your country. Those who are rallying you to take back your country. It is by taking down this constitution that you're able to take back your country. Every other thing you are doing is a product of ignorance or dishonesty on the part of the people leading you to say, oh, let's go and replace them in government house. It's not the people in government house that took your country. It is the constitution that took your country and handed to them in the manner they are managing it. The constitution mandated the corruption you see. I've cited the sections to you. They don't owe you obligation. They have the spare key to the treasury. Go and check section 81 and 82. Ask the lawyers you know, especially the ones that go to run their mouths on TV. Ask them whether the president does not have spare key to the treasury. And the governors in section 121, 122. Ask them whether under section 308, the kind of immunity you have there. So they don't owe you obligation in section 6C. They have the spare key to the treasury in section 81, 82 for president, 121, 122 for governors. They all have immunity. You can't question them in all the 8 years they might be in office. They don't. So what country are you taking back? You are slaves in that. You are slaves in that country. The slave have no rights, human rights, even right to life. You don't have any right at all under this constitution. So to take back your country is to take down this constitution. Anybody who is rallying you to come, let us go to government house so that the PDP will replace APC or Labour Party replace PDP, they are lying to you. We challenge them, get this video, bring them to answer to it. If they dare, if they think they have answers, let us have a debate. Let us have a debate. The media have been pretending they do not understand what is being discussed. We will not say any more thing to you. But when the flood will come, it will carry everybody, including the media that is pretending around this subject matter. Every day you tune the TV, they are discussing inanities, inconsequentials. Who has rigged more? Who has stolen what? You leave the robbery gang intact, and you're coming to entertain me with the story of another goat that was stolen. Yesterday you discussed chicken that is stolen. Today you bring goat. Next day they say cow is stolen. But you do not want to partake in the discussion about the robbery gang that we are saying, let us dismantle this robbery gang. Nigeria is a criminal enterprise under this constitution. Everything you see, whether people are killing people or stealing the treasury dry or even the impunity of saying, what can you all do to us, in the manner we see all the time. This is where it's flowing from. And so if the media is not prepared to join that discussion, if Labour Congress is not prepared to join that discussion, then you have chosen to die in your misery. Those planning revolution, the revolution is to join in saying we cannot continue in a constitution that render us slaves in our homeland. If you are not doing that, ignorance, dishonest, or both. That brings me to, what shall we do now that we have defeated this constitution? Soon, sooner than you can imagine. In fact, we're looking at this first quarter, which will end at the close of March. We did announce in December of 2023 that by the time the first quarter is winding down, we'll be inviting, Ninas will be making an altar call. That altar call is to separate countrywide those who now reject this constitution as the source of their misery. This basis of union is also your source of misery. They will be told what to do to stand on one side. Everybody else will be counted as being on the side of the enemy that imposed this constitution, that is enforcing this constitution on all of us. Once that altar call is made, then the country will see the number of people who have rejected this bad arrangement in comparison with those who are trying to enforce it against everybody. That is the logjam that will have to be resolved by transition. There'll be no other way. And let me say it on behalf of Ninas just one more time. The choices available to everybody now is either, including the government, either we calmly surrender to this superior plan that accommodates everybody, because we have not asked those in government house to go to die. We have said, come so that we can go to transition. Like South Africa went to transition in 1990 to resolve the apartheid quagmire, the apartheid bind. Let us know that either we accept to go and solve the problem now, or that is surrender unconditionally to this superior plan, this comprehensive plan, or we get ready for comprehensive defeat. That crowd of people we are throwing, there was a governor that poured bread on the floor of a warehouse, and people were falling on top of one another to take as many. Maybe the people came in before they made the arrangement for how to share it to them. They saw it and came in and began to fight over it. You saw people who were being flogged in Lagos for small loaves of bread. You saw people who were in market who dropped. You saw the woman that had a child that dropped, fainted, hadn't eaten for 3 days. You saw how that child was. These are the kind of people you are governing, and you are taking 30 billion to go and buy food. What? All that has come to an end. We either go to solve this problem, or it will come upon us because we have remained adamant and unthinking. We stop here.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Oh, remember your Twitter. Right, Ninas is right. Tweet it, tweet it, tweet it, tweet it. Because this work is going on. People are understanding on daily basis. People are calling in and say, what do we do? And they're moving on and doing what they're supposed to do. It's not by noise, so this is not noise. We've told you that the battle line has been drawn. Where do you belong? We must end this local colonialism by your politicians, your pastors, your priests, your imams, your ezemo, your ezewayi, traditional leaders, all of them standing and swearing to uphold this 1999 colonial constitution. They are in one side. We, the people, are the oppressed, the victims, the ones on economic exile, because our land is on fire. The battle line has been drawn. Where do you belong? Go ahead, my dear.
Yes, in the final analysis, the peoples of Nigeria who are living in the torment of unitary Nigeria will have to step forward to begin to join the task of salvaging themselves, saving themselves from impending doom. There's already bad weather. There's already rain falling and destroying things. But the one that is now the deluge that will come if we fail to arrest the situation is why we're making this short appeal to open your eyes to where that calamity is coming from. We have identified that constitution of Nigeria as the source of all your misery and the collapsing environment in which you live. And so we are pointing you to, we wanted to be able to identify who the enemy is in this complicated battle. The enemy is anybody that subscribes to that constitution, that 1999 constitution. He could be a candidate contesting election. It could be political party. All the political parties in Nigeria subscribe to that constitution. It could be supporters of the candidates. It could be people who go to vote in the election under that constitution. They are the ones, but if you were looking for who, because some are hoodwinked, some are the deceived. The ones who are deceiving the others are the ones who swear to defend and uphold that constitution. They know, because we have engaged them. We have told them these things to say, the people are dying, but they grab that constitution with all their might because of the profit they make from it. They know that you are going to die. They know you are going to get more miserable. They are not explaining to you. They don't want you to know that it is because of the profit they will make for themselves. Governors every month, 5 billion, 10 billion for them and their families, to which they are not, on which they are not accountable to you for how they spend. In the 48 months, they will be there 4 years, or 8 years if you are unlucky, 84 months. Or is it 48? No, 96 months. And so, those are the people tormenting you. The ones who subscribe to that constitution, the ones who swear to defend and uphold, the ones who go to election, political parties, all of the political parties. Now, what are you to do? What are you to do? Separate yourself. In the days ahead, Ninas will be drawing a line, will be making an altar call. All of those who stand with that constitution on one side, all of those who stand with Ninas to take down that constitution right at this time on the other side. That's what you will find in Nigeria in the days ahead, because we can't continue like this. And the torment has come to where those who, who want to save themselves must now stand up and help take down that apartheid constitution that bring all these torments. The ones who swear to defend and uphold that constitution are committing treason against the rest of us. They're committing an offense that could be punished with any kind of punishment the mob can inflict. But they are committing treason because they are hanging on to a document that implants our signature fraudulently, empowering themselves to do what they are doing, whether it is stealing they are doing, or it is the killings they are doing, or it is the other things that they make profit from that they are refusing to do. We must separate ourselves from them. They are the enemies of the people. The other enemies are only the Fulani that come to kill you, are able to get to you because that constitution is in place, still in place. So it is your twin brother, it is your nephew, it is your sister that is part of upholding that constitution, going to, renewing the life of that constitution that has brought the full that is killing you. If it is hunger that is, if it is poverty that is grinding you, if it is electricity that is destroying your business or lack of faith, whatever it is that is tormenting you, look for those you can reach, those their homes, that are subscribing to that constitution, whether they are doing political party or contesting election or swearing to defend and uphold that constitution, having won. They are the ones, they are the ones that are they are the ones that are putting you through that torment. So by this short broadcast, just dress back, inform other people, send this information to everywhere it can get to. If you want to be a part of solving that problem, we are going to make a formal invitation and people are going to come to take the specific steps we are going to be.
All right. So if you want life and want it abundantly, if you don't want to go where the pastor will pay someone to come and give fake testimonies, if you don't want to be part of those that believe their ancestors are holding them down, or Mama Nkechi, the widow, that doesn't say good morning to you, is the Amusu lady. If you don't want all of that, there is a template on the table that can end this colonial project that we are running. Nigeria is a colonial project instrumented by 1999 Constitution that is cemented to keep you in your grave, because that's where you guys are, in open air prison, also known as AKA Nigerian grave. If you don't want to be part of that, come on the side of Ninas. There's already a comprehensive strategy on the table to stop this colonial project and allow our people to move forward. This is what it's all about. We're not here to show off. We're here to educate our people, because we know what they did. We know they left you down and out. They left you hungry. They left you tired. They connived with their religious partners to make sure that you don't look up and Joe Ogenemeha, what is going on? Why are my 4 sons out of the country? Because we used to brag with it. Why do you have 4 boys? And one is living in Germany, one is living in Houston, and you really think you have arrived. Who in America did their 4 sons leave America to go and live somewhere else? Aromere. We must return back to who we are. We must begin to beg for forgiveness from the God of our ancestors. We need to end this colonial project under 1999 Constitution and give our people a life worth living. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we are finished. Is anybody commenting? Any questions?
Right there. Brother Noski, we appreciate you. We thank you so much. By the way, we're going to start running our campaign again to help Ninas. This part that we are doing is not spiritual. We are not getting any spirits coming to do it. No more is coming to do it. No praying. We are not praying and fasting. See how fat I am. I have not been fasting at all. Yeah. So he said go yes. So we'll post the Nina's information next time. If you want to contribute, please help us. There are a few people doing this. There are few people that believe in this project. I know that we have been duped in the past. I don't know how the man with that strategy, anyway, he used the church strategy, crying and acting like he's into God. Yeah, we are not calling God, though. We are calling the template on the table. Yes. We are going by the rules set by the virus. Yes. Virology. We are virologists. We know how this virus works. So this virus works. So we are here to present a strategy that will destroy the virus in its domain. Yes. So however way you can help us, please help. This project is not run by anybody, but by few of those that want much more for our people. ninasvoice.org. You can go in there. There's a place for us to make donation. There will be intentional starting next week to put that information out so that we can help our people. So thank you, Nosik. We will send this money to the right direction. We are doing well. What we need is help for the project to liberate our people for real this time. No fake videos, no fake Trump is our friend, no fake, we are going to meet in the lobby. No. We are using the instrument that they said we should be using, which is called Constitution.
Yes.
We are using it here and Ivy League. That's what we're using to tell them that it has not been set up yet. And we need to set it up. And they're waiting for you to rise up and say, this has to be done. That's another thing. They're waiting for you to rise up. So rise up, brothers and sisters, until next week.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.